think now we're like, yeah.
Every time. Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Hey, yes, we are. So welcome to today, which is like totally spur of the moment. We decided this yesterday, and then like lunch.
We just jumped in. Here we are. What are we talking about? Hi.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Smith, and I'm from Accomplished Health and Wellness here in Lawrence, and this is Heather Fiore, and she's from Free State Nutrition here in Lawrence too. Obviously, we're in the same place.
Yep, here we are.
And
yep, I don't know what that is, but
why is okay,
everything's fine. I don't know.
Sorry. We're having technical difficulties.
Fix us out every time.
This like new platform is not. It's not meshing well with me.
It's not working for me at all.
Anyways, today we are going to talk about the benefits of yoga, right?
Yes.
So, did you have anything like right off the bat that you want to talk about?
Right off the bat, I guess my thought about yoga is that there are lots of different kinds.
Oh yeah.
And so I think there's so many benefits, and I think we should get into that. But I also think if you've tried it and you
didn't like it,
or
it wasn't for you and me, or
could be just like the instructor or the type, or
or, even like meditation. Sometimes it's hard to get into meditation, and like you really just have to make it a habit almost. And so anything that you're gonna do that's gonna change the way that you do things, changing a behavior, it's gonna take a month, and I've even read up to 3 months of doing it routinely in order for it to actually, before you make a consistent behavior change.
Right. It's not like you do yoga one time and you're like, this is amazing. Right. I feel amazing.
Do you know, like every day I tell myself, tonight I'm going to do yoga before I go to bed. And I would say I do it like a tenth of the times, because you have some routine that's already set, and then you don't alter it, or something else happens, or whatever.
It's hard to start something new.
It really is. It really is. So I know. So there is a lot of data actually out there about the benefits of yoga. I mean, just calming yourself. There's a benefit. But there's actually a study that was done in breast cancer patients.
Wow.
And it was done a couple years ago, because I read it when we were in the old building, actually. So it was at least 5 years ago, probably, that this study was done, and when it came out. So it was like earlier than that when it was done. But anyways, what they did was they had 2 arms, and they were all breast cancer patients. And one was patients that did yoga. And the other arm was patients that didn't have a guided yoga, but they had here, do these stretches, or do do this yoga routine, but it was not guided.
Interesting.
And what they found, and so both arms, the women, I think, were receiving chemo and radiation, and I believe they had a mastectomy, I believe, but they were all breast cancer patients. And what they found was, at the cellular level, the telomeres in your DNA. So telomeres are like your junk DNA, basically. It's like what's at the end. And a lot of mutations happen in the telomere section. And which is good, because it's like junk DNA, but it shortens, like if you cleave off a whole 100 base DNA bases, the coded DNA, obviously your non-coded DNA gets shorter and shorter, and then you can end up cleaving something in your coded DNA, and that changes things. That turns things on, that turns things off, and that's how cancer is created. So what they found was that at the telomere level, the group that did yoga, and that was the only difference, was that this was a guided yoga, their telomeres were longer.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? Just from doing yoga, and it was guided.
Right.
So,
right.
So I take that as a good benefit, for yoga. But, it's known to lower your blood pressure, just because it reduces stress. It takes time for you to calm yourself and do stuff like that.
For sure.
And yoga is great for back pain. I mean, it's a great treatment for back pain. Pilates is too. Actually, I'm always saying that. And I think that it's interesting that more and more men are starting to do yoga, which I think is good. They might call it Tai Chi, but hey, it's movement.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever
And I
you need
think
to do.
just stretching, there's so much
Any
benefit
kind
to
of
it.
movement.
It's not cardio, which is the
Mm-mm.
problem I have with it, because I'm like, I'm gonna work out, like I
I
want
want to
to,
do,
I want
but
to
do
do
you know,
cardio. But
on that app that I have, the Fit On app, there are actually a few exercises that are, it's like yoga, cardio yoga, or like
okay,
yoga to burn fat, or like something like that.
okay,
And they mix kind of the yoga and bar together, or yoga
got it.
and Pilates
Yoga and
together.
Pilates.
So it's like
That's a good
yoga
combo.
Lattes, or like
Yeah,
bar yoga. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
But it's still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. Like, I might fall.
Yeah, but it's so good for stability and
Yes.
balance
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
flexibility. Like that's the key
Absolutely.
thing.
Mhm.
Like even people who work out, or maybe even more so, people who work out may not take the time to stretch,
Yeah.
and then like
Do you
missing
know?
out.
So there was a chunk of time that Heather and I were going to be doing these videos, and we just didn't because I actually had surgery
Mm-hmm.
on my hip, and I just started physical therapy. And my physical therapist and my surgeon actually are so impressed with my mobility in my hip. And the only reason it is like that is because I did yoga and Pilates and bar
Cool.
prior to surgery, because I wanted everything else to be as strong as it could so
Awesome.
that it could compensate for this loss on my hip. So I have to say that I attribute it all to the yoga and Pilates and bar that I did prior.
That is
Otherwise,
cool.
I would be a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So there,
That's awesome.
see, like there is some edit.
Right.
The Fit On app has lots of yoga in there. There's all kinds, but there's also a lot of my patients like Yoga by Adriene. I have only watched her once or twice. I can tell you that she's not annoying. So,
That is
sometimes
key.
like
That is
when
very
you go
important.
in and you're like, oh, their voice is so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
She's not.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I like about her is that she has a lot. So, like, sorry, Adriene, if you have like, I mean, it'll be good for you. You'll have like this burst of all these new subscribers. But the thing I like about her is that she has playlists and she's on YouTube. And I'm last time I looked, she was free. But you go on there and she has playlists. So you can actually look up like back pain or like certain things
cool.
that you're recovering from. If you're having trouble sleeping, you can go into one of her like yoga before bed, that kind of stuff. And that's what I like about her, and the fact that she was not at all like annoying. The only thing I didn't like, which I would love for her to do, and maybe she has since I looked at her, because it's been a year or two that I've looked at her, because I started doing the Fit On app. I would like her to have shorter segments.
Mm-hmm.
That is because, like, let's face it, sometimes it's hard for us to do yoga for 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
True.
And I think most of hers are 20 or 30 minutes. She might have some 10-minute ones. That's what I would love for her to have, is a bunch of 10-minute ones that I could do, because 10 minutes is about, like, as a mom, that's about all I get. It's 10 minutes. And that's like, I might be doing yoga in the bathroom, because like that's the only place I can hide from my kids,
So actually I did yoga when I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And around that time too, I guess, just because I happened to have videos and it was just real easy to do.
And do you know what? It actually helps the labor
a
lot.
I do, which is
and
why
your recovery.
I made myself do it.
Yes, and your recovery.
Yeah, but Rodney Yee's the guy I used to do just regular, not pregnant yoga, but just regular yoga. He had a bunch of DVDs. This is like, I don't know. He might be on YouTube now. This is like before YouTube. He
probably is. He converted
but,
them all.
He had really short ones, like, 10, 15, 20 minute, and you could stack them together, or you can just do one or two. It was really nice. The thing I do now, if I'm going to do it, is through the same company that I do lots of workouts through. I think we talked about MOSA before. And so they have an app, MOSA On Demand, an app and a website. And they have Centergy, which is like a combo of yoga and Pilates.
Oh, see, I like that.
And then they have different times. Like, I think they have one or two that are 10 minutes, and then 30, and then an hour.
Yeah, that's what Fit On has.
Nice.
The thing I like about Fit On is that you can go in now and they have time limits and you can like choose 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30.
That's key.
Yeah, because the reality is like maybe you're doing stuff, 3 times a day or something.
Right. You know what I liked about running is when I was really tired, like if I was going to do it in the morning, there were ones you could do laying down. And that was like really easy to like convince myself, like I'm in my PJs. All I have to do is like turn on the thing and lay back down on the floor. I can do this versus like some,
where you're like, thing. I've done some in the morning that were supposed to wake you up and they did wake me up. And then I was like, this was a lot of movement in the morning for me. I got dizzy. So, like it's the up and down, the up and down, the up and down. That sometimes bothers me. Or like, just the poses where your head is down and your butt's in the air. I mean, it sometimes. Yeah.
You have to modify, right? Everything is not for everybody.
Absolutely. And there's so many different kinds of yoga, and some people need classes, and classes are fine too. Right. Us actually doing stuff with people is good because then you have camaraderie and like they can hold you accountable to go.
Right. But also the instructor can walk around and like
help you
hold
place
your body and show you where you're supposed to be, and you know
that's all benefit.
Yeah. Then there's hot yoga. I mean.
I am afraid I would pass out.
Yeah, I am sweating at room temperature. I just can't imagine it. But
I think it would be fun, though. I mean, I'm always cold, so hot yoga might be good for me.
Might be good. You'd probably be really flexible.
I would,
Yeah,
super warm, too.
Yeah.
I just have to be careful. Maybe I'd pass out.
Right. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Check yourself.
Anyways, what else do we have to say about yoga?
I think that's kind of it. I would love to hear if people have like favorite yoga people that they follow on YouTube or wherever. Like, I mean,
help everyone out. It's a team effort. So if you have favorite ones that you want to recommend, just put them in the whatever it is called chat box.
Or people
on Facebook, it's the post chat box. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you're local, let us know if there's somebody.
Yeah, if you are local and you do yoga, and you want to list
your favorite yogis.
Let's hear it. Yeah, help us all out. So, what should we do next time? Do you think?
Well, I think we have to figure out if
we're going to do next time.
When, yes. So we're going to try to get more
It'll be after the new year.
Yes.
Because Heather is going to be, we're all going to be off for a little while.
Traveling fool. Yep.
Yeah, she's going to go have fun. She will.
Yes.
So it'll be after the new year.
Yes. And we're going to get more consistent, but we have to kind of figure out, like, are there more things to talk about in the mindfulness series, or are we ready to move on to another area of wellness? Yeah, so if there's topics you guys would like to talk about, just throw them at us because we would love to hear some of them. I know we discussed talking about menopause at one point. Oh yeah. And I think we're gonna if you guys want us to talk about menopause, give us a shout. Even if you don't, we're going to do it. We're going to do it eventually, So if there's something more that you guys want us to talk about mindfulness, I'm sure that we have other topics. Yeah, we'll come up with something. Yeah. So we will see you next year. Next year. Have a good rest of your day and Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Bye.